It's almost time for the bullet train, so I have to go. Please take care of the house while I'm away. I don't want to come back to a house full of garbage.
I know. I'll be sure to clean the house. When you and the baby come home, it'll be good enough for you to get some rest.
I'll be counting on that.
Yeah, leave it to me. So, good luck with the baby, Linda. And tell your parents I said hi.
Yeah, okay. I'll be in touch. Hey, Linda. Where are you now, and what are you doing? I can't believe you are napping at home and not attending your father-in-law's funeral. I cannot believe you can be in such a mood. What? I'm not asking you to help with the funeral, but you should at least show up at your husband's father's funeral. Wait a minute. What do you mean, funeral? Don't act like you don't know. You knew everything, and yet you didn't even show up to mourn. After you got my father to pay for your wedding and your new house, it's beyond insane that you wouldn't attend his funeral.
I haven't heard anything about it.
Huh? Don't be silly and just show up. How can you not have heard something as important as this?
I really haven't heard anything.
Please, calm down and listen to what I have to say. I don't know anything about your father's death. Besides, I'm back at my parents' house now, so I can't go there any sooner even if I wanted to. You're back in your hometown? Yes, I'm back to give birth in my hometown. I've been here for a week now. But Dan never mentioned anything about his father. When did he die? How long had he been sick? I really haven't heard a thing. Wait a minute, I can't wrap my head around this. You're giving birth back home. That means you're pregnant, right? You haven't heard anything from Dan? I haven't heard anything about that. If you're back home, that means your belly is already pretty big, right? Yes, the baby is due next month. What? Dan only told me you were supposed to be home napping, but you're actually at your parents' house and you're having a baby? I'm sorry. I don't really fully understand what's going on either. Anyway, I'm going to pay a visit to your father's grave as soon as I get back. I'm sorry I missed the funeral without even notifying you. Come on, pick up the phone. Stop running around and explain to me what's going on.
Calm down, Linda. I can't pick up the phone when you're so angry.
I have every right to be angry. I wasn't told anything about your father's death. If I had known, I would have sent out a condolence message.
I didn't say anything out of concern for you. My father collapsed just before you went back to your parents' house. I didn't want to say anything because I thought it would worry you.
But at least you should have told me he passed away.
That's my way of showing my concern. I thought it was bad luck to tell such a thing to a pregnant woman before the birth. That's why I couldn't say anything about the funeral.
So you think it's also out of concern that you didn't tell everyone about our baby? Lauren didn't even know I was back in my hometown. In fact, she said she didn't even know I was pregnant.
That's because, my sister Lauren is already in her 40s, but still single. No boyfriend, no marriage, no possibility of having kids. How can I tell my sister that my wife is pregnant? That's why I haven't told anyone on my side of the family yet.
Don't you understand that that's disrespectful to Lauren? And so is your concern for me. Because of you, Dan, they thought I was insane. I'm sure Lauren isn't the only one who's upset. I'm sure all the relatives who attended the funeral thought I was an insane wife.
I'm sorry. I'll make things right with everyone when things settle down. And then you can take your beautiful baby and go visit Dad's grave.
I'll do that without you telling me. So, is there anything else you want to apologize?
Huh?
There's more, isn't there? Will you just tell me everything now?
Oh, come on. There's nothing else to apologize for.
The wedding and the new house we just built last year. I heard that you got help from your father. Lauren blamed me. She said, "Why didn't you go to his funeral after having him pay so much money for you?" I was surprised about the funeral, but I was also surprised to hear about that. I didn't know anything about that kind of support.
Oh no, it's not like that, Linda.
Can you explain to me right now what's different? My parents rather helped us with the wedding and the new house, didn't they? And then you said to me, "I'm sorry, we didn't get any support from our family."
I'm sorry. Actually, my father did provide some support, but I spent it on my own stuff.
I beg your pardon?
I know it's an excuse, but I didn't mean to spend it all. I just wanted to use a little bit of it for my hobbies and stuff, but then it turned out that I spent it all.
That's no excuse. What exactly did you spend the money on? How much did you receive and how much did you spend?
I think I got about $10,000 for the wedding. But the truth is, I bought the engagement ring using a revolving credit plan, so I used the money to pay off that debt.
No way! That engagement ring was paid off with a revolving loan?
And maybe $30,000 for the new house. But there were so many things I wanted, like a new fishing rod and parts for my motorcycle. My allowance wasn't enough, so I had to use that money.
I can't believe all of your doings, and I can't trust you with anything. Dan, I'm sorry to spring this on you so suddenly, but I want you to divorce me.
Huh? Divorce?
I can't be around someone who has hidden debts and spends a huge amount of money selfishly without even discussing it with me. It's impossible to raise a child with someone like that.
What do you mean impossible? Getting divorced before the baby is born is more impossible.
Up until now, you've been able to manage your debts and your needs. But that's because you're lucky to have your father's money. But what would you have done if you had none of that lucky support? I can't live with someone so unpredictable as you.
What the hell does that mean? Are you saying that I would have gone into debt behind your back? I would never do such a thing. I wouldn't do such an irresponsible thing, especially when I'm about to have a baby.
I want to believe you, but I just can't right now.
Don't be so cold. I'm sorry for all the things I kept from you. I'm sorry I spent all of my dad's money on my own. Oh, or is it that? Linda, are you sulking that I kept the money all to myself?
Huh? Sulking?
That's why you're so angry. You're probably jealous because I spent all the money from my dad all by myself. But if that's the case, I have an idea. In return for everything I've done so far, I'll give you my dad's inheritance to you, Linda.
Huh?
My dad was a hard worker, you know. I think he left a good amount of inheritance. He's always been sweet to me, and plus I'm the eldest son. I'm sure I'll get more than my sister, so I'll give it all to you. I'll probably receive 30,000 or even more, so we'll call it even.
Even? You don't think I'm going to let you get away with this, do you?
I'm sorry I used up my father's money without asking. So don't tell me you're getting a divorce. I'll give you all of my inheritance once you come back from your hometown. I'm the eldest, so I should get more than my sister. You can count on it.
I'm sorry. The whole inheritance is mine. I didn't realize that all of Dad's support was lost to my foolish brother's extravagance. I'm ashamed of myself for blaming Linda for not knowing all this.
Are you Lauren by any chance?
Yeah, I'm your sister in her 40s and still single. I don't even have a boyfriend, so I'm a sister who's miserably causing worry to my brother. But I have more life experience than you, so I'll give you some advice. Dan, you need to divorce Linda right now. A guy like you deserves to be abandoned by his wife.
Wait a minute. Why are you with Linda? Linda is back at her parents' place.
I know that. That's why I'm visiting her parents' house.
What?
Dad's will required me to come here. I wanted to hear from Linda directly. I left for Linda's hometown right after yesterday's funeral. I thought it would be better to do it as soon as possible.
Dad's will? You didn't tell me there was such a thing.
I didn't need to. The will was written to me.
What?
He asked me to have his ashes scattered at an island near Linda's hometown. There's this small island our dad loved so much that he visited once a year. What he wrote in his will is, Dan has been very spoiled, so that's partly why I can't trust him. Could you, Lauren, handle these important matters? I can only trust you to do such things. So, I immediately flew over here for the procedure.
What?
And while I am here, I thought I should stop by Linda's place. Then you contacted her at the right moment. I sat next to her and read the whole thing. Why don't you just give her a divorce already?
I don't want to do that. I don't want to get divorced just when we're about to have a baby. You said earlier that I wouldn't get my inheritance. What the hell does that mean?
As a matter of fact, that was also written in the will addressed to me. He said, I want to leave Lauren at least the inheritance after all the money I've given to Dan. Your father gave you a lot of money. He paid for your wedding, the down payment on the new house, and even bought you a car when you went to college. And whenever you needed something, you always begged your father to buy it for you. He wrote in his will that I should deduct that amount from your share of the inheritance.
Are you kidding me?
As a result, you will receive nothing. It's exactly equal if I get all of it.
So you're receiving the entire inheritance for yourself?
Dad, he's so sincere, isn't he? He spoiled you because you're the eldest son, but he also thinks about me, his daughter. That's why I didn't grow up to be a mess, and I've been able to live an upright life.
That's a lie. It can't be true. No way I won't be getting any of my father's inheritance. How could my father not leave me anything?
Don't get it wrong. Your father tried to leave you things too, but it's more a result of your spoiled life.
That may be true, but why didn't he say so from the beginning? That instead of supporting us, he'd reduce my share of the inheritance. It's not fair to do this after the fact kind of stuff.
How can you say that when you keep bringing things up after the fact? You didn't even tell me about Linda's pregnancy. You didn't tell her about the debt, the support money, the funeral, or anything. Now, you know how hard it is and how unreasonable it is for the one who's being told things afterwards.
It's that...
I'll say it again. You should divorce Linda immediately. Don't try to hold her back with an inheritance you won't get.
I'm really sorry about what happened. I've been thinking about it over and over again, and I regret it. I've been thinking, you can cut off my allowance for everything my father has given me. So please, please don't tell me you'll divorce me.
Thank you for your remorse, Dan. But I'm sorry. I really can't handle you. I can't trust people who hide things from me for the rest of my life.
I won't hide things from you anymore. I'll live my life so that you'll be able to trust me from now on. I won't borrow money or spend the money that was given to me without permission. I swear I'll never do anything selfish again.
You really promise?
Of course, I swear. I'll swear to my Father in heaven that I'll never hurt you again. So please reconsider the divorce. I love you, Linda, and our baby girl.
I can't believe you would say that. But are you sure? If you go that far, I think that coworker you're dating might get depressed and cry.
What?
That's what you're swearing to your Father in heaven. Are you sure that's a wise thing to say? If that's the case, you'll never be able to visit your father's grave again, Dan.
Wait a minute. Did you just say I'm dating someone?
I said you're dating your coworker. Maria, your coworker who works at the same company. You've been together for about a year.
Wait a minute. How do you know about her?
Lauren went out of her way to contact me, saying there's a strange woman sleeping in our house and asked me what she should do about it.
What? My sister?
Lauren acts so fast, doesn't she? After seeing me yesterday, she went right back there. She said if you're getting a divorce, I'll go get your stuff. She went to her house to pack up my belongings for me.
Oh.
And somehow a strange woman was sleeping in our house. I asked Lauren to question her. Lauren woke her up immediately, so she got answers out of her for me.
No kidding. What the hell? It can't be. I've been able to hide it so well, and there was no sign of you finding out.
Huh? What's impossible is what's going on in your head. While your wife is out of town to give birth, what the hell are you thinking letting a cheater stay at her house?
No. It's just a coincidence that she ended up staying here. She got a hangover from accompanying me when I was drinking in desperation last night. So I had no choice but to let her stay at my place and rest.
Oh, you're very kind to other women, aren't you? Well, if you're so nice to other women, why don't you start being nice to me, your wife? She's begging for a divorce. I'd like you to show some kindness and sign the divorce papers as soon as possible.
Oh, no.
I'm going to ask for property division, child support, and also alimony. You'd better be prepared, since you've been doing as you please for a long time. After that, thanks to Lauren, I was able to get the evidence and testimony of the affair. Also, I was able to get alimony from both sides. Last month, the divorce was finalized. I also got a lump sum child support payment. The affair was revealed to the company and they both resigned. I heard that they broke up soon after that. Dan lost his job and money and tried to return to his parents' house in a panic. Lauren had already sold the family home after she inherited it. He is now living in a cheap apartment and looking for a new job. By the way, after Lauren disposed of her parents' house, she moved to the island which her father loved, using the money she inherited from her father. She enjoys slow life and sometimes visits me and my newborn child. We still have a good relationship.